Toxic relationships and boundaries. How to protect your peace. Relationships should make you feel safe, valued, and respected. But what happens when someone constantly oversteps your boundaries, dismisses your feelings, or makes you feel guilty for saying no? This is how toxic relationships begin. When boundaries are ignored, manipulated, or broken. Toxic dynamics can show up in romantic relationships, friendships, family bonds, or even at work. Many people struggle to set firm boundaries out of fear of conflict, guilt, or emotional attachment. But you need to know that without boundaries, you risk losing yourself in the process. Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, it's never enough? That setting a simple boundary, like saying no, somehow makes you the bad guy. Pay attention to this. Toxic relationships don't always start with red flags. Sometimes, they begin with small boundary violations that solely drain your energy, self-worth, and peace of mind. In this video, we are breaking down the link between toxic relationships and weak boundaries, why so many people struggle to set them, the warning signs to watch for, and, most importantly, how to reclaim your power by enforcing healthy limits. If you had ever felt drained, disrespected, or trapped in an unhealthy relationship, this video is for you. Learning to set and maintain boundaries is the key to emotional freedom. Have you struggled with setting boundaries? What is the hardest part for you? Let me know in the comments. If this video resonates with you, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss content that empowers you. Let's dive in. 1. What are boundaries and why do they matter? Imagine your personal boundaries as an invisible fence around your emotional, physical, and mental space. This fence is not meant to keep people out. It is meant to ensure that only those who respect you can enter on your terms. It defines what is acceptable and what is not in your relationships. But in toxic dynamics, boundaries are ignored, manipulated, or pushed back entirely, leaving you feeling drained, unappreciated, and sometimes even trapped. Healthy boundaries are not about building walls. They are about creating a structure where love, respect, and understanding can thrive. When you set boundaries, you protect your energy, maintain your self-worth, and cultivate relationships that are based on mutual respect, not guilt, not fear, or obligation. Without them, you risk being controlled by others' needs while neglecting your own. Think with me. Have you ever said yes to something you did not want to do just to avoid conflict or keep the peace? How many times have you sacrificed your own comfort just to make someone else feel comfortable? If so, ask yourself, was that truly love and kindness, or was it self-abandonment? 2. The connection between toxic relationships and weak boundaries. Toxic relationships do not just happen overnight. They thrive in the absence of boundaries. If you struggle to set limits, people with controlling issues or manipulative tendencies will keep pushing until you break. And that does not only happen in romantic relationships. Weak boundaries can lead to unhealthy dynamics in friendships, family connections, and even at work. When you do not assert your needs, you unintentionally give others permission to overstep. Toxic individuals, whether consciously or unconsciously, exploit this. They test your limits, push your emotional capacity, and slowly shape a relationship where their needs always come first, while yours fade into the background. What are the signs that your boundaries are being ignored? You feel mentally and emotionally drained after interactions. You constantly feel guilty for saying no. You walk on eggshells who avoid conflict or upsetting someone. Your emotions, needs, or opinions are dismissed or minimized. You feel responsible for someone else's happiness, even at the cost of your own. If any of these sound familiar, it is time to take a step back and ask, are my relationships built on mutual respect, or am I constantly overextending myself to meet others' expectations? Setting boundaries is not about being selfish. It is about self-respect. The moment you start honoring your own needs, you will begin to attract relationships that honor them too. 3. Why people struggle to set boundaries. Why is it so hard for you to say no? Why do you feel guilty for prioritizing yourselves? Many people struggle to set boundaries because they have been conditioned to believe that doing so is selfish or rude. From a young age, society rewards self-sacrifice, especially in close relationships. The message is clear. Be agreeable, be accommodating, put others first, but at what cost? At your own. When we internalize these beliefs, we become afraid to set limits. We tell ourselves that boundaries will push people away, when in reality, they are what keep relationships healthy. What are the common fears that stop people from setting boundaries? Fear of rejection. If I set a boundary, they'll leave me. Fear of conflict. I don't want to upset anyone. Fear of disappointing others. What if they think I'm selfish? Fear of being seen as mean or difficult. But here is the truth. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away. It is about creating space for relationships that are built on respect, trust, and emotional safety. The right people won't leave when you set a boundary. They will respect you more for it. Please answer this question with me. Do you feel guilty when you put yourself first? If so, ask yourself, why? Who taught you that your needs do not matter? Before we move on, I want you to pause and ask yourself, where in your life do you need stronger boundaries? Is there a relationship that constantly drains you? A situation where you feel unheard or taken for granted? Drop a comment below and share your experience. What's one boundary you struggle to set? Let's start a conversation and support each other in creating healthier, more balanced relationships. 4. How to set and enforce healthy boundaries. If you have spent years saying yes when you really meant no, learning to set boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first, but remember, discomfort is temporary. Self-respect is forever. Here are some practical ways to start setting and enforcing healthy boundaries in your life. Decline anything you do not want to do. No is a complete sentence. You do not owe anyone an explanation. Express your feelings responsibly. Your emotions are valid. You do not have to justify them, but you do have to communicate them. Talk about your experiences honestly. If something bothers you, address it instead of suppressing it. Unspoken resentment can destroy relationships faster than any argument. Address problems directly with the person involved. No passive-aggressive hints. No waiting for them to figure it out. Clear, direct communication is key. Make your expectations clear. People cannot respect boundaries they do not know exist. Be upfront about what you need. Be clear about your comfort level with physical touch and intimacy, your body, your rules. Never feel guilty for asserting your boundaries when it comes to physical space. Boundaries are not walls. They do not shut people out. They create healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The more you honor your own needs, the more you will attract people who honor them too. You deserve relationships that feel safe, supportive, and reciprocal, and it all starts with you. 5. What happens when you enforce boundaries? The moment you start enforcing boundaries, something powerful happens. You take back control of your energy and self-worth. But not everyone will celebrate this change. Some people might push back, guilt-trip you, or make you feel like you are doing something wrong. Why? Because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. They might say, "You have changed," but what they really mean is, "I can no longer take advantage of you," and that is a good thing. But here is the truth. Strong boundaries do not push away the right people. They filter out those who were never truly invested in your well-being to begin with. Embracing your power. If you have struggled with boundaries before, know this: you are not alone. Many of us were never taught how to protect our emotional and mental space, but it's never too late to start. You deserve relationships that nourish you, not drain you. You deserve to be heard, not dismissed. You deserve love and respect, not guilt and obligation. And remember, setting boundaries is not about shutting people out. It is about making space for the right people to stay. The ones who respect your limits, value your energy, and appreciate you for who you truly are. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you struggled with setting boundaries in your relationships? What has been your biggest challenge? Drop a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let's create a community where we uplift and support each other. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Protecting your peace is a journey, and I am here to walk it with you.